Another audiology video, and today we are on parasitology. It's basically the branch of biology of medicine concerned with the study of parasitic organisms. Almost like parasitology is the study of parasites, their hosts, and the relationship between them. As a biological discipline, the scope of parasitology is not determined by the organism or the environment in question, but the way of their life, their way of life. This means it can form it forms synthesis of other disciplines and draws on techniques from fields such as cell biology, bioinformatics, biochemistry, molecular biology, immunology, genetics, evolution, and ecology. The study of these diverse organisms means that the subject is often broken up into simpler, more focused units, which can use common techniques, even if they are not studying the same organisms or diseases. Much of the research in parasitology falls somewhere between two or more of these definitions. In general, the study of prokaryotes fall under the field of bacteriology rather than parasitology. So in a medical field, the parasitologist F.E.G. Cox noted that humans are host to nearly 300 species of parasitic worms and over 70 species of protozoa, some derived from primate ancestors and some acquired from the animals we have domesticated or come into contact with during our relatively short history on Earth. And it's one of the larger fields in parasitology is medical parasitology, and is a subject that deals with the parasites that infect humans and the diseases caused by them, the clinical picture and the response generated by the human body against them. It's also concerned with various methods of diagnosis, treatment, and prevention and control of them. A parasite is an organism that live on or within another organism, and that organism is called a host. And the organisms can include things like Plasmodium spp, and it's a protozoan, so a protozoan parasite which causes malaria. And the four species infected to humans are P. falciparum, P. malariae, P. vivix, and P. ovale. There's Leishmania donovani, the unicellular organism, which causes leishmaniasis. Sorry if I mispronounce any of these. There's entamoeba and giardia, which cause intestinal infections, and can cause dysentery and diarrhea. There's multi-organisms and intestinal worms, helminth, such as Schizoma SSP, Wucheria, Bancrofti, Nectara americanus, which are hookworms, and then there's Ternia SPP, which is tapeworms. Ectoparasites such as there's also ectoparasites such as ticks, scabies, and lice. In medical parasitology can involve drug treatments, epidemiological studies, and study of zoonoses. Zoonoses, let me know in the comments below what they are. Lastly, parasitology can also be veterinary, which is the study of parasite that cause economic losses in agriculture or agricultural operations which cause infection in animals. And, like the species studies are like can be Lucilia sericata, which is a blowfly which lays eggs on the skins of farm animals, and the maggots hatch and burrow into the flesh, distressing the animals and can cause economic loss for the farmers. There's Notodectes cynotus, which is like the cat's ear mite. It's responsible for canker. Then there's also Gyrodactylus which is like a monogene parasite of salmon which can wipe out populations which are non-resident. And like structural, like parasitology and like the study of structure of proteins from parasites. Like the determination of parasitic protein structures may help better understand how these proteins function differently from homologous proteins in humans, and in addition protein structures may inform like the process of drug discovery to help combat like the invasive ones. And then there's quantitative, like parasites exhibits and aggregated distribution among host individuals. Thus the majority of parasites live in the minority of hosts. And the feature force parasitologists use advanced biostatistical methodologies like methods. So like going on to like the parasite ecology. Now, so like parasites can provide information about the host population ecology. In fisheries biology, for example, parasite communities can be used to distinguish distinct populations of the same fish species co-inhabiting a region. And in addition, parasites possess a variety of specialized traits and life history strategies that enable them to colonize hosts. And understanding these aspects of parasite ecology of interest so in their own right can eliminate parasite avoidance strategies employed by hosts. Inside the conservation biology of parasites is concerned with the protection and preservation of vulnerable species, including parasites, as a large population of parasite species are threatened by extinction, partly due to efforts to eradicate parasites which infect humans or domestic animals, or the damage human economy, but also caused by the decline or fragmentation of host populations and extinction of the host species. Next, with taxonomy and phylogenetics. The huge diversity between parasitic organisms create a challenge for biologists who wish to describe and catalogue them. We're in recent developments using DNA to identify separate species to investigate relationships between groups at various taxonomic scales has been enormously useful to parasitologists, as many parasites are highly degenerate, disguising relationships between species. Now, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek observed and illustrated Giardia labia in 1681 and linked it to his own loose stools. This was like the first protozoan parasites of humans that he recorded, and the first to be seen under a microscope. And like a few years after that, in 1687, the Italian biologist Cosimo Bonomo and Giacinto Cestoni published that scabies is caused by parasitic mites, that's called Coptes gabae, and then marking scabies as the first disease of humans with a known microscopic causative agent. In the same publication, Esperenze intorno alla generazione degli insetti, experience of a generation of insects. Francesco Reddy also described ecto and their parasites, including ticks and the larvae of nasal flies of deer, sheep liver fluke. His earlier book in 1684, the book Osservazioni intorno agli animali viventi che si trovano negli animali viventi, observations of living animals found in living animals. They described and illustrated over 100 parasites, including human roundworm. He noted that parasites develop from eggs, contradicting the theory of spontaneous generation. And it's like modern parasitology is developed from the 19th century or 1800s with accurate observations by several researchers and clinicals. Like in 1828, James Annesley described amoebiasis, protozoal infections of the intestines and the liver through the pathogen Entamoeba histolytica was not discovered until 1873 by Frederick Losch. James Paget discovered intestinal nematode Trichina spiralis in humans in 1835, and then James McConnell described human liver fluke in 1875. Patrick Manson discovered a life cycle of elephantiasis caused by nematode worms transmitted by mosquitoes in 1877. And then Manson further predicted that the malaria parasite Plasmodium had a mosquito vector and persuaded Ronald Ross to investigate it. And Ross confirmed that the prediction was correct in around the time of 1897-1898. At the same time, Giovanni Battista Grassi and others described the malaria parasite's life cycle stage as in Anopheles mosquitoes. And then Ross was controversially awarded the Nobel Prize for his work in 1902, where Grassi might not, as Grassi could be seen as doing more than Ross. So yeah, this is my video today, and I'll see you all very soon. So yeah, au revoir.